Moving on to tech news. Remember net neutrality? Do you remember that thing? It sure seems like it was a lot of fuss for nothing, huh? All the way back in 2018, we were pretty pissed off at Ajit Pai for wanting to repeal the net neutrality rules, saying that internet providers must treat all communications equally, and claiming that repealing them would result in some kind of awesome growth because of the free market and I don't know, Reagan's ghost would apparate and fight Bernie Sanders if the internet was deregulated. Here he is, moving his useless mouth.
We also heard from many small broadband companies, which are critical to providing more competition in the marketplace. They told us that these rules prevented them from extending their service because they had to spend money on lawyers and accountants.
Yes, Lord knows, lawyers and accountants cost the same as it would to extend internet service. That checks out. Ultimately, the FCC did repeal net neutrality, despite no one wanting that. And then the benefits that Ajit Pai outlined, well, they never happened. Providers didn't expand coverage, and in fact, companies like AT&T have slowed down their expansion. Reagan's spirit remained trapped in the outworld. Comcast cut their spending, and the boosts in speed the FCC boasted had happened before net neutrality was repealed. Though, on the flip side, it sure seems like the internet didn't end either, so you could say that perhaps both sides were being alarmist. The answer is a hard sorta to not really, because there have absolutely been abuses since the repeal of these rules, such as AT&T rewarding HBO Max viewers with no data caps, all of the companies now selling your location data, or this of a story where Verizon throttled the data of firefighters while they were dealing with the California wildfire. Oh right, we had wildfires in California too. I almost forgot. Man, I swear this wasn't supposed to be a bummer of an episode. I thought it was gonna be simple. Hey, hi, hey you, there you backwards f***, I hate what you represent. Great! That's great stuff! But what is sort of interesting is what happened next with net neutrality. Specifically, this current pandemic and the demand it created on internet services. See, back when they voted to repeal, a Republican commissioner who voted in favor was quoted saying, "I, for one, see great value in the prioritization of telemedicine and autonomous car technology over cat videos." And now that, in the pandemic, usage has predictably shot up 47%, it seems like there hasn't been an issue dictating the need to prioritize data. The internet hasn't exploded, despite companies cutting spending and not expanding, and that's good, at least the part where we didn't break the internet. But as Wired points out, had there been a major problem during this spike, it would have been completely up to the private companies to choose which services to prioritize. And maybe they shouldn't have that power, you know? In other words, there have been a bunch of studies and articles saying that the economic and consumer benefits of repealing net neutrality haven't happened, while the dangers of putting the internet in the hands of private companies remain the same. Just because it hasn't been a problem yet doesn't mean it won't slowly erode over time. And so far, we've been literally going by an honor system during the pandemic, as in the FCC nicely asking ISPs to pledge they won't f*** people over while everyone is out of work. That pledge having since expired, and at no point legally obligated them to do anything, as evidenced by the nearly 3,000 customer complaints filed with the FCC during this honor period. It's weird how you can't just ask corporations to be good to people. It's like they only care about money. Look, this is all boring and I hate it, but along with this continued battle with ISPs, we're seeing a huge moment for the future of the internet during this pandemic. Not just because of the heavy reliance, but rather that last year closed out a massive Justice Department investigation into Google and Facebook, resulting in a ton of antitrust lawsuits. It's sort of a thing we already knew, but now have data to back up, which is that Facebook and Google have been slowly inhibiting things like newspapers or internet comedy websites to exist. thanks to their abilities to buy out and dominate access to social media and search engines. Specifically, Facebook buying out their competitors, and Google spending billions to ensure their search engine was prioritized on devices. It's going to be long and drawn out, but what's actually good about it is that thanks to these investigations, smaller companies that were screwed over actually get to take a legal stand that, and I cannot stress this enough, desperately need to happen against these terrible companies that are also cool. We love Google's YouTube, don't we, folks? Hey, thanks for watching that clip. Here's the evergreen end plate to ask you to like and subscribe. It's any day of the year where you are.